Saints are getting back on track following solid wins over Geelong and North Melbourne. The win over the Roos was all the more impressive, as it was done without key players Lockett, Grant and Frawley. Sydney, however, has returned to its old habits after breaking the drought in round 13 with a comprehensive victory over Melbourne. And oh, how Ron Barassi would love a win over the Saints today. It's Sydney versus St Kilda on AFL Live.
Yes, he certainly would love another win today. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the SCG on a marvellous day for football and this round 18 clash between the Sydney Swans and St Kilda. In fact, it's a big day of sport right around the networks. I hope you can stay with us because also today, Melbourne is playing Brisbane, and Melbourne will be looking to continue on their winning way with a faint hope of playing in the finals come September. But the Saints are back on track with impressive wins over Geelong and North Melbourne. For Sydney, it's a very different story. In fact, they haven't beaten St Kilda now in their past 6 meetings. Their last victory was here at the SCG way back in 1989. So they need all the help they can get. But they do have some added assistance today. For more on that, let's welcome to our telecast, Gerard Healy.
Thanks very much, Sandy. And down with me on the boundary we have the new #1 ticket holder of the Sydney Swans, who also happens to be the Premier of New South Wales, John Fahey. Welcome to AFL Football.
Thank you, Gerard.
It should be an exciting day.
I think it's going to be a close one, and there's some confidence in the dressing rooms at the moment that this could be #2 for the Swans. I sincerely hope so.
So did you make it down into the rooms with the Ron Barassi inspirational speech?
I think Ron might have finished. He seemed very relaxed, so he must have been satisfied with the speech that he'd given. But yes, I was down there.
Well, he must have put the hard word on you for something, surely.
Oh, yes, he did. He told me about the need for a warm-up room down there. Unfortunately, this particular stand where the rooms are in, the dressing rooms, change rooms and warm-up rooms are in, was built before we thought the Swans were coming. But I'm looking forward, quite frankly, to two things. One, Sydney winning the Olympics on the 23rd of September. That's only 55 days away. That'll mean an 80,000 stadium out at Homebush, and rest assured that we'll be wanting the Swans to occupy that. And I promise Ron Barassi and all of the Swans that if that occurs, that we'll make sure that they are incorporated, their views are incorporated in the design, so there'll be no complaints about the warm-up room at that stage.
Well, you obviously believe that the Sydney Swans have a big part to play in the sporting culture of this city.
Oh, look, Sydney can support an Aussie rules team. It wants to, it needs to. I believe that it'll come to pass before we're too much older. The commitment's still there, the supporters are there, the sponsors are there.
At this record, in fact, when they last met, these two sides was in round 3 earlier in the season. St Kilda were relatively easy winners, 2012 to 13-16, but Sydney, who've been on the road now for 4 weeks, will be delighted to be home. And at this stage of proceedings, it's a warm good afternoon to Dennis Cometti. Welcome, Den.
Sandy. How are you?
I'm very well, and I've been around the world with you a number of times, and I've seen you when you think you can pick something, and you were confident today coming up in the plane. You had a feeling.
That's overstating it. Not confident, but I like their chances today, Sydney, as they come out in the ground. You asked me why, and I can't say why I like their chances, of course. No place for logic here. I actually saw St Kilda 9 days ago when they accounted for North Melbourne at the MCG. They were most impressive, so it's just a feeling I have. You know about these feelings, you get them sometimes. And today I think Sydney will be pretty competitive. I like the look of their team. They've got some firepower up front. But of course, they've been losing, and that negativity so often can settle on a club as the Saints come out. Tough time. It's a long season for clubs like St Kilda and Sydney. At this time of the year, not a lot to play for, and quite often form can go out the window. One good performance, then they fall away.
Yes, Stuart Lowe leading the players out. He's certainly going to be a key player, Dennis.
Yes, in the absence of Tony Lockett, he really is the key to their forward line. He's kicked 27 goals so far this season, Big Stewie. Taking a look at the Sydney Swans, Paul Kelly and Scott Waters have been most consistent. Up forward, as I mentioned earlier, plenty of firepower. Richard Osborne and Simon Minton-Connell. Good balance there, I think, but of course the test will be in the playing of this game. As we take a look at the Saints and St Kilda, with the exception of Danny Frawley and Tim Pekin, it's a young defence. The centre line looks pretty good. They were very good against North Melbourne. And of course Robert Harvey continues to give them plenty of run. Should be an interesting game.
So there are our two lineups for this clash. Stay with us, won't you, right throughout the afternoon. As I mentioned, there is another game on between Melbourne and Brisbane. We will be showing you that score throughout the afternoon, but if you don't want to know it when we mention it, then just look away. Time now to check out our Norwich Rising Star Award contender for this week, and it goes to young Footscray champion in Ilya Grigic. 21 years of age, he was most impressive against Melbourne in round 17, teaming with Brownlow medalist Scotty Wine. He rucked when Footscray was against the wind and moved to a forward pocket when the Dogs had the breeze. Ilya was recruited from Melbourne High School, and he's going to be a player of the future. Good luck to him and Footscray as we take a break.
Top of 18 degrees, not a lot of humidity, no breeze at all. Ground is very good, but they have had rain here during the week, and the centre is a little sticky, but watching the reserves, it is excellent for football. And for those interested in the twos, Sydney were very big winners over St Kilda. Now, I wondered initially why Gerard Healy wanted to do the interview with John Fahey down on the boundary line. Seeing where he is now, I now know why, Gerard.
Well, some pretty important matchups here today, Sandy. And Rod, you're used to playing some players fairly close down on the boundary here, but this is ridiculous.
Yes, there was an air of nervous excitement in the rooms, and there's an air of nervous excitement right now, believe me.
Well, looking at a few of the Sydney players, do you think we could see a two-pronged matchup up forward, perhaps Minton, Connell and Osborne?
I think that'll be very interesting because both Swans players are leading players, and I just hope they don't get in each other's way down there.
Well, how have the Swans progressed since Barassi's been here?
I think the skill level has definitely improved, and I think the enthusiasm has also improved as well, and I think they'll definitely win another game before the season's out.
Today?
Definitely today. I'm feeling confident.
A couple of the important matchups in the middle, perhaps Daniels on Winmar?
Daniel on Winmar, yes, I can definitely see Daniels running with him.
What about Harvey and Brunton?
Harvey and Brunton. Brunton has been excellent for the Swans this year, and I think he will tag him.
Well, I think we better get off. It's just left to be seen whether they can show it to them, Sydney.
For sure.
Thank you, gentlemen, and yes, we look forward to hearing from you. You can tear yourselves away. So here we go, first quarter at the SCG. The boys mentioned a couple of interesting matchups, and they should be too. It was Lewis who got the initial hand pass out. Here's Higgins, left foot kick down in towards the forward line. Osborne takes the mark. Number 44 has kicked 444 goals, and wouldn't it be a great way for Sydney to start? With one from Osborne, who's going to be kicking from 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. Sunny day, not a breath of wind, but unfortunately only a small crowd. Here's Osborne from 45. Drop punt goes into the square and goes across the face of goal, drifts over the line for the first score of the day. That is one behind. Richard Osborne. Now 33-20 for the season. There's Gilbert McAdam. Last week had the job on his brother. Brings the ball back into play. McAdam towards Everett, who didn't try and punch, he's tried to belt it on, as did Mick Dwyer, who's been in pretty good touch. Waters in trouble, gets the hand pass away. I think he might have been looking for Bays, a little too far for him. It's pushed towards the line and taken over for throwing on centre wing. Troy Gray from the ACT back to take up his position. Big day for Lee Capsalis for the Saints today, playing his first game. We wish him well. Mick Dwyer, defensive side of centre wing, flicks it up towards right half forward for the Saints, up towards Lowe, beaten for it, but he recovers quickly, loses the football. The tackle was solid. Sydney will get out of trouble, back towards centre wing through Mooney. Got the job on Stuart Lowe today. Everett leaves it. High kick by Anderson. Got his 26th birthday today. He'll be looking for a big day, and the mark is taken by Dwyer. On he goes, down towards Kane Taylor, who's taken a mark 55 metres out and directly in front. Taylor looking for the first score of the day for the Saints. Elects to go short. Nathan Burke is on his own on the 50-metre line. Burke from 47 metres heads for home, but he's away to the right, is he not? One behind. Well, no pressure at all on Burke then. Bays has the job on him, but he was off target to the right. Scores 11.
Russell Morris has started on the bench for the Saints. Ian Aitken is out of the original lineup. Werner gathers the ball now and sends it very wide. Stafford, a bit slippery out there. Quite heavy in places. Stafford from half back towards the wing. Everett in best position. Up he goes uncontested virtually. Claim this one. The big man wants to go. Kicks towards centre half forward. Ill directed though. Mooney will be paid. Tackled that one on the way down. Mooney from centre half back has the job on low to Stafford. Boots it towards half forward. Not a good kick. Hollow. Good mark in front. Hollow, an emerging player. 7th game. Just starting with the Essendon under-19s. This is Everett alongside the centre circle in the centre square. Taylor towards half forward. Not a good kick again. The kicking atrocious at this early stage. Off the ground by Harvey. Well done by Fode over the top. Winmar, open goal, 10 metres out. And through it goes. The first of the afternoon.
I think I can.
Saints and Nicky Winmar. If he has a big day today and kicks 8, he can reach 200. He's number 193. He's been a grand player. Wanted to sneak away then, but Chris Hollow's got to go back and take the kick. Defensive side of centre wing, he's got Mick Dwyer on his own. Has a bounce. They set it up for Pekin. He's inside 50. Pekin short to Anderson. And Dean Anderson marks in the right forward pocket. Be a nice birthday present for him, wouldn't it, to start the day with a goal. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. Saints at the moment leading by 1 straight kick. They now lead by 2 straight kicks. Straight through the middle for Anderson. St Kilda are 2-1, Sydney 1 behind.
Yes, just the start that St Kilda wanted, getting away to a couple of quick goals. Most important when you go into state, that you get away and get the crowd silenced. Not a great crowd here today. In fact, you possibly couldn't even describe it as such, but certainly some support here for Sydney, including the Premier of New South Wales, which is good to see.
So we're back in the middle, tossed up by the umpire. 1 down by Everett. Anderson against the flow. Well done there by Bayes. Kelly gets it out wide. It's worked out towards half forward now. The ball comes off hands to Shanahan. In fact, he may have been paid the mark. Winmar has it. Boots it back towards the outer side. From behind, a big leap out there, and it's paid to Stewie Lowe. Terrific grab. Lays it off. Shaw down towards half forward. And the mark not paid. McAdam showed courage. And a whistle. So the Swans building nicely. Doreen was the man who started it around the outer side, but breaking down across half forward. Low-key start to this game. The 2 young Tyros go at it. Stafford got it down. Robert Harvey is claimed. Crashing his way through was McRae. Well played by Waters. Clever hand pass away. Around the outer side, the kick from Cresswell, and the mark is held by Bryce.
Paul Bryce looking in towards Osborne. Paid the mark directly in front, 46 metres out.
And a couple of great passages of play there by Sydney. Cresswell's kick to spot Bryce was superb, and then Bryce's kick to the leading Osborne was just as good. And a terrific finish there by Richard Osborne. Strong hands, but it'll be interesting to see how 2 leading forwards will compete with each other. And I speak of Minton Connell and Osborne. Just have to be careful that they don't lead for the same ball.
Osborne having his 2nd shot for goal, similar distance, but he's directly in front this time. A much better kick. And Sydney's on the now to Osborne. As Everett does battle in the middle, but it's Waters who belts it out of the centre, only as far as McAdam. Oh, his hand pass is intercepted. Could be costly. Kelly at the bottom gets it out to Daniels. Daniels, another hand pass clear. Bryce kicks in towards full forward, but he's away to the left, and the goal umpire goes flat on his behind.
Moulded souls again, Sandy.
Correct.
Have you looked that one? Plays of the month, no question.
Frawley back in the Saints lineup. Kicks to the half back line. Dwyer does well. Threads his way through some heavy traffic. Gives it across to Pekin. Poor hand pass. They may well lose it, and it could prove costly. It's on centre wing. No one able to get it out. Finally, it's in towards the centre, and Dwyer again. He can go over the top. The Saints looking to go further forward through Nathan Burke. 55 metres out. Burke's kick. No one at home, however. And Sydney will get out of trouble with ease. The hand pass across to Scotty Doreen. Doreen up towards the half-back line, and Jason Mooney takes the mark.
Mooney goes in short. This is Holmes. Left half-back. Plays on, looking for support. Brunton carries it towards the wing and kicks towards centre half forward. Cresswell in front, Winmar from the side. McAdam tries to knock away, but it's going to be a free kick. And it's going to Cresswell. Having a good season, this youngster. Second only behind Richard Osborne in terms of goals for the Swans. He's put at 20. And will go close from here. He'll kick from just outside the 50, if in fact it is 50. Bending back. Has it got the carry? Yes, I think it has. Goal. Only just, but it was good enough. Come back by the goal.
And Paul Bryce, surprisingly, has been interchanged and cooling his heels there on the bench. Winmar goes the big fly, but doesn't take the football. Darren Creswell does convert nicely from outside the 50. It's been touch and go there for the umpire. Good to see him keeping his feet.
So 2 quick goals to Sydney, and they're certainly back on level terms once again. It's Waters who whips it out of the middle. Down towards the half-forward line. They're full of run at the moment. Lewis pulls it round his body. A little too far from behind. Ardent fans at the back there. They're here week in, week out. Whenever Sydney are playing here, they're here.
Bit of conjecture through the week about the future of Dale Lewis. Some suggesting he's off to Melbourne again, perhaps to play out his future of football. But let's hope for Sydney fans' sake that he stays. Very talented player.
It's that time of the year, isn't it, when rumours start. Here's Higgins. Just a short little chip. It's going to be all right. Finds his skipper on the outer side. Kelly still a long way out. But Sydney, after that initial 2 goals from St Kilda, have settled. Higgins has dropped down towards the 50 and taken the mark. Minton Connell is calling for it long. Higgins is a lovely deliverer of the ball. Centering kick in towards full forward. Minton Connell was there, and it's belted though towards the boundary line. Is it going to reach there? Winmar keeps it in play. An exciting dash clear. Finds Nathan Burke. Burke to low on half back, and he takes the mark.
Wants to play on, draws the man on the mark. Dwyer, solid. Into trouble initially, and now Burke in turn. A lot of pressure applied there. Had to come unstuck. Waters comes away with the ball and boots it down towards the half-forward line for the Swans. Must be a free kick in front, I would have thought. Yes, it's paid to Burke. Now advantage is in fact paid. Shaw smothered off the boot, so little advantage there. Peckett goes to ground. Back comes Shaw on his knees. Pekin. Too slick. But eventually it comes to Burke. Well done. The hand pass now to Hollow. Hollow boots it down towards half forward. Going back with great courage. There's Stewie Lowe. That was a terrific grab.
Yes, well, not much more has to be said. It was a fantastic showing of courage there by Stuart Lowe, and the fact that he...
Oh, there's a pig on the ground. There is a pig at full forward. That looks like a large white landrace cross.
We have an expert in the field. It's a good thing you're here.
He's looking.
Oh, he's on a lead. He's on a lead. Get the runner out there and pick up the pig.
Well, number 4 plugger. Oh, that's hard. It's only a joke, plugger, if you're watching.
The big question is who's going to tackle him?
Oh, this could go on for some time.
Oh, no, they tire quickly.
Do they? Michael Werner's having none of it.
But he's very happy.
He's a vegetarian.
Very content on that lovely green, lush surface.
Michael Werner put out the finger there. Perhaps he thinks it's a budgie.
He won't catch him. Well, I wonder how far we've got to go back to see when time on was allowed for a pig on the ground.
Well, they've been calling for extra interchange players.
Yes, but not little porkers like this. He's just drifting into the right forward pocket now. A dash
what a
back
dummy
towards
lead.
full forward. That was exciting. But now he's out to half forward.
He's definitely got Dean Anderson's measure.
Brunton's showing mild interest.
Well, it's great to see both clubs working together on this issue.
This is extraordinary.
Fine tackle.
What a magnificent tackle. That's Darren Holmes.
He's not amused. Well, fair enough, it's tough for the players in this situation. I mean,
And the pig too.
well, I suppose.
But as spectators, I guess we've got to see the lighter side of things. But, well, I was most impressed with Darren Holmes' tackle there. He came in low. He kept his eyes on the hips.
Now, back with the action. Stewie Lowe's taking a shot at goal.
He would have to be excused if he missed this one, I'd suggest.
And he comes. Good-looking kick. That's a beauty. So, after a lengthy delay.
Goal by Stuart Lowe. It's back in the middle. Lewis the flyer, but couldn't take the mark. Holmes again. Out towards Higgins, who tried to surge it forward. Back it comes to McRae. McRae is 48 metres from goal. Shoots in towards full forward, but is away to the left and one behind the result. So, Saints leading by just 4 points as McAdam will bring it back into play.
McAdam, of course, was involved in a very interesting duel last week against his brother Adrian. Had about 35 possessions from the back pocket. Adrian, of course, kicked 5 goals, so each had a share in the votes at the end of the day.
Pekin does it well from behind Waters. Kicks towards half forward. Low obviously is the target once again. No one able to get clear, and a bounce with the men in white today being John Harvey and Anton McKernan. Just forward of centre for the Saints. Lowe, in fact, does the ruck work. Back towards centre wing. Daniels on all fours. The former Saint gets it out to his captain, Kelly. Kelly's hand pass is smothered, so too is he. Daniels goes in again, gets out the football. Off to Leon Higgins, can't get round onto his left foot, so he kicks up towards the half-forward line, and he finds Bryce 55 metres out. Paul Bryce. Minton Connell at full forward. Osborne is also down there.
Well, Bryce had just about kicked this if he got onto it. Nothing on offer up forward.
He's going to be kicking from probably 57 metres. In towards full forward it goes. Oh, off hands, that's going to be a goal. Creswell has got another one. 2 goals to Darren Creswell, and Sydney hit the front 3-3, plays 3-1.
Well, Peter Everett's only a developing player, but he'll rue this attempted mark. Could say that ball is as slippery as a pig, but did come through his hands, and well done to Darren Creswell. He followed up with 2 good first quarter goals.
So back in the middle, Stafford. It is sharked by O'Brien. He storms away from the centre. Long kick. How will it bounce? Vacant goal square. Not the right way for the Saints. It goes out of bounds in the pocket. Tracked out by Werner. So throw in, right full forward. And on the 7 Sports scoreboard, the Swans lead by 2 points. Hooked behind there by Lowe. Kelly emerges with it. Doreen breaks away from full back. Kicks towards half forward. Bryce does well. Lewis is on down the ground. Bryce, meantime, gives it back to Doreen, the man who kicked it to him. He chips inside the 50. Stretching out now Osborne. Shanahan played it pretty well and carries it across the line. And it will be thrown in. Inside the attacking 50 for the Sydney Swans. The Saints kicked the first 2 goals. The Swans have worked their way back into this nicely. The breeze not a factor. Everett thumps it about 20 metres, taken by Waters. Slick hands away to Lewis. This is Kelly right on the 50. Sends it down towards the kickoff line. Frawley's coming back. It clears the pack. Pickett goes after it and tracks it out of bounds. So a throw in alongside the behind post in the left full forward pocket.
Burke does the ruck work for St Kilda, and he belts it towards the boundary line once again, trying to keep it in play as McRae. Only for a moment.
Gee, that fence is dangerous here at the SCG, especially when it's slippery.
It is relatively slippery on and around this ground today. We've seen a goal umpire go to ground once, a boundary umpire went to ground a short time ago. There's a fine mark taken by Darren Holmes.
And just notice Scott Waters is coming off the ground, and Robert Neal, who last week played in Canberra, coming on for his first run. I'm sure Waters must be injured, because he's had a fine season here for Sydney. He would probably be leading their best and fairest.
Here's the kick from Holmes down towards full forward, trying to burst his way through is McRae. Couldn't do so. Ball spills free. Winmar towards the boundary line. Higgins is there too, and Winmar sees it over. And we do apologise. Our loss of picture in some areas. As I said, for that we apologise. Certainly the situation is rectified shortly. Kelly ridden into the ground. Will he lose the football? No, Burke's kick smothered. He couldn't get clear. In fact, it's held to him. And Jason Daniel gets a pat on the back. Playing against his old team, he'll be keen to do well.
Yeah, so Waters is in the middle, or was in the middle on Mark Dwyer. Both have had 6 possessions, so I can't imagine Barassi would take him off for any disciplinary reason. Perhaps Rod Carter will be able to fill us in.
Burke again wins a tap. He's in everything at the moment. McAdam could have almost copped one high as he tried to get the hand pass away. As we go down to the boundary line, Rod Carter, what news do you have?
Yes, Scott Waters appears to have a calf injury. He's been carrying a groin injury and they were concerned, but it appears to be a calf injury, and with a bit of luck he might be back on.
Thanks, Rod. Still at half forward left for Sydney, and no one going anywhere, so another ball up to take place. Sydney leading by 2 points. After St Kilda got the opening couple of goals, Sydney have pegged them back 3-3 to 3-1. Lewis has held on to a fraction too long. Everett, the big man, sneaks away, goes with the left foot kick, tumbling a punt down towards the right half forward flank, close to the boundary line, and Holmes sees it over under plenty of pressure too from Shaw. So a throw in, this time in St Kilda's right half forward flank region. Sydney have been on the road now for a month. They'll be very pleased to be back on their home turf and would dearly love to notch their second win. Stuart Lowe goes with a roundhouse right. The umpire said he had to do that because he was held with the left, so he's got a free kick. So he's going to be kicking from just on 50, similar position, similar distance out as to his earlier goal. Lowe, he's kicked 28 for the season. Very deliberate in his approach, kicking from 51 metres. Good-looking drop punt off the boot. That's a magnificent...
9 minutes remaining till quarter time, and the Saints back in front. They led it by 4 points. Pretty tough in there. Damon Shaw's got the ball, and another ball up. The umpire having a word.
Well, Stuart Lowe was most impressive last week against North Melbourne. I just had the feeling that perhaps Lowe plays better football when Tony Lockett's not around. Perhaps they crowd each other, or not sure what it is, but that seems to be the chemistry at work.
Here's Higgins breaking away from the centre from outside the 50. Not a particularly good kick. It wobbles down towards the pocket. In front was Frawley. This is Pekin. Osborne confronts him. The ball's still in play. Eventually the centering kick comes across. It was intended there for a teammate in Brunton, but chipping in was Harvey superbly. Low to Winmar. And now Winmar goes down towards half forward. Bode on the lead. Awkward one for him. He was looking into the sun. He couldn't control it. And the ball spills across the boundary line. Be thrown in.
Good passage of play there by St Kilda. Fantastic interception, of course, by Robert Harvey.
Throw in just outside the 50. Stafford wins it forward. In goes Winmar. This is Kelly. Content to take it out. Paul Kelly, who broke his hand against the Saints back in round 3. He turned 24 on Wednesday. Terrific skipper in very trying conditions here in Sydney. This is Harvey again. Like a pinball wizard bouncing around in there. Pekin gets it across to McAdam. McAdam swings it out wide at full stretch. Fode goes back. Werner comes to him. Fode goes into the fence, and the ball will be thrown in again. 3-3-21 to 4-1-25. Sydney ranked last in the AFL in first quarter performance. They averaged 15 points. Here's Lowe, smothered off the boot, diving on top of it, Holmes. In fact, their best first quarter was 34 points against Melbourne in round 13. So projecting that forward, a good start in relative terms by the Swans here. At least they're competitive.
Winmar can't take it cleanly over the head of Harvey towards Pekin. It goes. He's inside 50. His hand pass goes astray. Taken by Bays. He's ridden into the ground. Loses the football. No one able to get clear. There's some legging going on. There's a St Kilda free kick, however. 45 metres out, almost directly in front, and O'Brien has the chance. So O'Brien from 45 metres, drop punt on its way. A mistake. His first, and St Kilda move a little further ahead. They are 5-1, 31, 10-point leaders over Sydney, 3-3.
Yes, well, Mark Bays was in the unfortunate position there of having to take the football when he knew that he was about to be tackled. Perhaps he could have just knocked it forward, but certainly less percentage in doing that. But O'Brien's had an impressive 3 weeks. He's kicked 10 goals preceding today's game in the last 2, so a good start again to him.
Stafford won the tap, but who can take it out of the centre? It's still in the middle. Over the head of McAdam it goes. Now Sydney go down towards their half-forward line. The bounce was not kind initially to Hollow, but he managed to butter up and kick back in towards the centre. Back towards Nathan Burke. Little bit of space is effective. Gets the hand pass across to Darren Burke. Darren Burke down to the half-forward line. Danger here for the Sydney Swans as the kick goes across the face of goal, however. And just sneaking in. One behind. How do you do behind play? Kane Taylor just warming up. It is cool here in Sydney. Kelly marks out of the back pocket. Gets a call further afield from Stafford. Poor kick though, put the big man under plenty of pressure. Pekin takes an easy mark. Gets the hand pass away. The Saints are starting to put the foot on the accelerator in the closing minutes of this quarter. Kelly's in all sorts of trouble and he's lost it. Well, he saw that he couldn't get round, so he said, I'll try and go through. And look at that, he did not get very far.
Yes, great example of the gang tackle there. Nathan Burke is Kelly's direct opponent. Both players are playing a little bit wide of each other and picking up a few possessions. It's pretty tough to go through 3 opposition players these days.
The margin at the moment is 11 points favouring the Saints. Fode hoping to make it 17. Be kicking from just on 50. Not a difficult angle. In fact, just outside 50. Good looking drop punt off the boot. That's a magnificent kick. Another one. Bode gets his first. And St Kilda move to a 17-point lead. 6-2 plays 3-3.
He's been a handy replacement full forward for St Kilda with Tony Lockett out injured, of course. There you saw once again what a fine example of tackling at its best at the moment. And he pumps one again from outside 50. So the players not having much difficulty kicking the long goal here today.
So the Swans with a few problems as the Rucks go at it again. Kelly brilliantly done. Took it from Stafford, boots it inside the 50. Minton Connell, fickle bounce, got a hand to it. Cresswell now to Minton Connell, a question of accuracy, pulls it back across his body. It's bending, not enough. Behind.
And he did bend that ball around the corner, and I know that's not one of Ron Barashi's favourite kicks, and the reason why he had plenty of time to straighten up and run directly at the goal on that occasion. A much more percentage, a high percentage kick.
Good mark by Lewis. Back inside the 50, low trajectory kick. It's a goal, no touched, I think. Shanahan going back.
And now a chance for Sydney again, inside 50. Now Higgins has got the run, but he doesn't get a favourable bounce. It goes back towards Brunton. Brunton, a steadying kick up towards Lewis. Got his hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Nathan Burke takes the hand pass. He'll get St Kilda out of trouble up towards centre wing, and the mark taken by Lowe. Stuart Lowe, defensive side of centre, goes up towards Everett. The flyer from behind. The big man couldn't complete the mark, but he's still in there battling hard for the football. Loses it now. Kelly takes the hand pass to Lewis. He marks just outside 50. Dale Lewis in towards Minton Connell, and he marks in the right forward pocket, tight angle for Simon Minton Connell, but he'll have a shot. They trail 3-5 to 6-2. No, he goes short. His target was Osborne. Straight through his fingers. Harvey getting St Kilda out of trouble. Steadies and goes wide towards Dwyer on the boundary line on the outer side. Dwyer will be more than happy to see it over for a throw-in. And that's where we will see it. On centre wing.
Robert
Outer side of the ground.
Robert Neal's obviously gone straight into the centre to replace Scott Waters.
6-2 to 3-5. Higgins. Daniels is slung. Pekin got him. Burke, sweeping hand pass to accommodate Winmar. Winmar through the wing. Third on the lead. Marks inside the 50. Only low down the ground. Face to face was the defender down there, Dunkley.
Look at Winmar on his own.
Well, despite all of that, things happening down the ground. There's Winmar. Foad elects to kick, and eventually does go to Winmar. That was about the third opportunity to find a teammate down there. So the Swans' defence breaking down considerably. Nicky Winmar. Slight angle. And the lead at the present time is 15 points. This to make it 21 if it's a goal. Kicking at his second. Maybe good enough. It is. Just home.
Ominous signs here for Sydney, with all the star players for St Kilda getting into the action. Jason Daniels has done a reasonable job on Winmar to date. You just see him running through the centre with him at the present time, but he was just given too much latitude on that occasion and had many yards between him and his man.
7-2 plays 3-5, closing stages of the first quarter. St Kilda holding a handy break, but at least a positive start by Sydney. Paul Kelly might say a muddy one. Still in the middle, throwing up this time, sensibly so. Everett beaten by Stafford. Brunton tried to soccer it out of the middle, wasn't successful, and we'll have another ball up just fractionally into Sydney's attacking zone.
St Kilda have only got 3 players on their forward line, and I noticed at the centre bounces that Winmar is starting across the half back line, and Pekin is playing a loose man in defence role. So obviously St Kilda want to keep this forward line well open on the smallish Sydney cricket ground.
Hayes tried to get it clear. Now Lewis goes in and gets it. Tumbles a left footer up towards half forward. Time running out by both sides. Pekin in trouble. Oh, he might just about lose it. Whistle sounds, so too does the siren. And it is quarter time here at the SCG. Everett and Stafford to do battle. Everett wins it down. Mick Dwyer got a touch, but he couldn't take it out of the middle. Everett tries to soccer it with the left foot. It sticks in the mud, and the umpire will have to try and get it out with another ball up. Robert Harvey at the bottom. So to Paul Kelly, he was splattered in mud in the first quarter. Everett wins it. He almost gets it out of the mud. He gets it that far. Sydney will be looking for the first couple of goals to try and get back into this game. Pekin waits behind. He's at half back for St Kilda. Just drifting it up towards Nathan Burke on centre wing. Couldn't take it cleanly, but he does have support. Look at Winmar. Takes the hand pass from Kane Taylor. Winmar's kicking towards half forward. Clean bowls O'Brien. Lowers at the back. 46 metres out. Kicks a high ball in towards full forward. And Werner got a touch to it. It's through for one behind.
Jason Mooney has been benched at quarter time, and his job is on Stuart Lowe has gone to Andrew Dunkley, who's a fresh player on the ground. So Lowe had a pretty big first quarter. Brass has pinpointed that as a problem area, but perhaps it's more in the middle. They've got to get the drive out of the centre.
Werner goes very wide with the kick. Too wide, intended for Higgins. So the margin is 22 points, and Burke to bring it back in. Darren Burke finds Tim Pekin. Still a fair way out. He'll kick from about 55 metres out. In fact, further. A little chip pass intended for Lowe, and his marker had the misfortune. That was Werner. Or was it Dunkley? Dunkley to slip over. So Lowe left the fullback lamenting. And he's marked this ball about 35 metres out from goal. He's already booted too, Stewie Lowe. As we said at the outset this afternoon, certainly a focal point on the forward line for them. Coming into this game, 27 goals for the season. His best haul was 7 against the Bulldogs back in round 7. So a chance to do better than that this afternoon. And his third then. Pokes at Goldwood. Has it got the carry? It has.
He plays 51, favouring St Kilda as Higgins pumps the ball down towards the full forward for Sydney. He was put to the ground after he'd disposed of the ball, so it'll be a free kick down the ground. It'll be taken by Osborne, and here is a chance for Sydney's quick reply. Aussie kicking from directly in front, some 40 metres out.
That's a pretty tough call, actually, wasn't it? He was in mid-air, having kicked the ball. He was pushed in the side, and it's a relayed free kick.
Osborne. Drop punt on its way. Goal umpire drifts slightly away to the left, but it's okay. Aussie gets his second and brings Sydney a little closer. 4-5, plays 8-3.
Yes, and finally something for this gathering of people here to cheer about for Sydney. It was good work there by Higgins to get the ball out of the centre. Pumped it down with that right leg. Of course, it was reconstructed last year. He's made a tremendous recovery.
From the middle again. Can Sydney get a couple? Can they get a run on and produce something special for their loyal band of fans here in Sydney?
They're doing very well out of the middle. Centre bounces are 9-4. Something for St Kilda to look at.
Everett and Stafford do battle once again. Chance for McRae, but he couldn't take it cleanly. Run overrun by Burke. Kane Taylor on all fours does get it back to Nathan Burke. Burke to Lowe. That's trouble for Sydney. Oh, those hands are like a vice as they wrap around that ball, and he'll have a shot just 30 metres out.
Yes, it was a good second effort there by Kane Taylor to maintain composure despite losing his feet. And this man certainly is stamping his mark on the game. He's just really catching everything that goes into that forward line at the moment.
And he's been accurate so far today, but he certainly hasn't been throughout the season. In fact, just converting over 50%. So let's see what he can do. This is for number 4 for Stuart Lowe. And the Saints at the moment have all the answers. 4 to Lowe, 2 in this quarter, 2 in the first. And they move 9-3 to Sydney's 4-5.
Yes, and Mark Bayes appears to be Stuart Lowe's third opponent for the afternoon. Dunkley being quickly shifted off after only a 5-minute burst on him. I'm sure Barassi wouldn't have been pleased with him going to the ground on his initial attempt at Lowe. He's a fanatic on players wearing long stops.
28 points the margin. Stafford hit it his way. Brunton going nowhere. Harvey knocks it about 15 metres against the flow, and there is Anderson. He's claimed immediately, and we've got a whistle. So the Saints working best at the present time. Big pack around this ball. Some hard ground is found. Stafford gets a left arm to it. Off the ground by Higgins. Inside the attacking 50 for his team. Osborne paddling it across his own half-forward line. Shanahan grabs him. Then in turn the ball. Couldn't control it. It's gone out of bounds. And it will be thrown in. Just over 20 minutes remaining in this opening half. Bryce. Clean possession. Tackled by Hollow. Maintained possession though. Held to him, and the bounce.
Well, I think if a ruckman decides to take the ball from any boundary throw in and he's tackled, he should be deemed in possession, and a holding the ball decision should be made. He has the opportunity to punch it. If the tackle is good enough, it should be rewarded.
Bryce punched it down that time. Burke though in the road. Lowe having a terrific game. He's already kicked 4 goals. He plays on, kicks inside the 50. Well weighted kick going back. Shaw couldn't control it. It comes to Fode. Fode pulls it back. It bounces through for a goal.
10-4, and ominous signs for the Sydney Swans as Dean McRae pumps them deep into their attacking zone. Frawley belts it clear, taken by Winmar, and he does it beautifully off to Shanahan. Shanahan from the back pocket, floating it up towards centre wing. The Saints have the numbers. The mark is taken by Darrenberg. Plays on quickly to Kane Taylor. Taylor in the middle. Everett's away. The big man lopes up towards half forward. Can someone take a mark?
Oh.
Look at that.
Well, you asked the question, Sandy. He is taking everything. Stuart Lowe at the present time has dominated the game from the outset. Will go back and probably kick his 4th goal, his 5th goal, which is a marvellous performance in a half of football, or less than a half of football. The mobility of young Peter Everett just continues to impress. If he can continue that development and work as a ruck rover as well as in the centre bounces, he's a champion of the future.
Low for number 5, a drop punt. Goal umpire does not move. 5 to Low. 11-3 plays 4-5, and I'm wondering now about that feeling Dennis had on our Ansett flight. It must have been a strange one.
I think it was turbulence, Andy.
Well, there he is, Peter Everett. Boy from Hastings in Victoria, and showing his worth as a through the ground player. Mark Bayes now being pushed up to the forward line. So Stewie Lowe has another opponent. Pick him up, Paul Bryce.
40 points the difference. Brunton tried to bid it forward, missed it. Harvey goes in, tackled by Brunton. And the umpire wants it again. Not too many clean takeaways out of the middle today. Invariably, the umpire has had to come in and ball it up or bounce it. So 2 and 3 tries to clear this area. Everett up very early. Stafford almost clean possession but couldn't control it. Burke and then Harvey try and get the ball going the Saints way. In there is Taylor. His claim from behind. He's going to get a free kick for a push in the back. So Taylor just off the muddy section, goes across the ground looking for Lowe. It falls short though, and the mark is held in front by McRae. Former North Melbourne player. He's had a pretty solid season. He boots towards the wing. Coming up was Bayes. It falls forward, taken away by Higgins. Higgins runs through the centre, pulls it back towards centre half forward. Osborne comes up on the lead and marks on the 50. Good aggressive running there from Richard Osborne, who's kicked 2. Distance shouldn't be a problem from here. A question of accuracy. He's normally a brilliant kick. And this one just falls away to the right-hand side. It's a behind.
But that also is an example of the difficulty in players with the same ilk have in playing at full forward. Right behind Richard Osborne was Simon Minton-Connell, leaving no one back in the square for Sydney. So I'm just not sure this matchup or setup will work.
Bryce marks the kick in, goes back looking for Osborne. That's a very clever mark. Shielded his opponent from the ball with his body, and at the last moment was able to rake it in. So Osborne, Swans' leading goal kicker this season. His tally has swollen to 35 with the 2 he's got today. His best effort was 10 against Melbourne back in round 13. It's a great story. Here's Richard Osborne then, kicking from 30 metres out. It's touch and go. It's a goal.
So back in the middle, Everett preparing to do battle once again with Stafford. The Saints big man wins it. They don't win it out of the centre. Down towards half forward. Sydney wanting a couple of quick ones. Bayes a lightning hand pass across to his captain Kelly. Kelly's kick is smothered, however. Back it comes once again. They'll get another opportunity. Down towards full forward. Frawley lunges, pushes the ball forward towards Taylor, and eventually he concedes a behind. Richard Osborne helping him up. 5-7 plays 11-3. Frawley again brings it back into play, goes to the outer side. He wants his big man in Everett, can't take it. Harvey down towards Mick Dwyer. Dwyer has it, gives it back to Everett. Ominous signs here once again. Harvey's the runner, straight through the middle goes Harvey. A chip up towards full forward, a little too far however. Players got caught underneath. O'Brien was there, but he can't take it cleanly. Werner comes away for Sydney. They'll get out of trouble. Lewis is on the half-back line, and he takes the mark.
Good desperation from Werner. Lewis goes over the top now. Neal boots it down towards the attacking 50. Frawley, did he push in the back? Yes, according to the umpire. So Minton-Connell will get a free kick just outside the 50. Close to the man on the mark. As a result, it's a high kick across the goal face. Osborne, the flyer from behind. That's Cresswell trying to keep it in. Not to the boundary umpire's satisfaction. Boundary throw in. Lovely day, although it is slippery out there, certainly in a number of patches, and muddy around the middle. Hollow's in front, number 25. Bayes comes from behind, gets rid of him, grabs the ball, kicks it, goal. Touched off the boot. Good call. It appeared to be interference. Hollow may have been bumped in the back. Still, just to behind. Gilbert McAdam, the '89 Magarey medalist, playing his 50th game today towards the outer side. Everett was the target. It was knocked forward. Burke is in there working hard. Lost control of it eventually. Winmar's got it now. Oh, clever. Knocked it to his own advantage. Good shepherd from Nathan Burke. Uses the ball well. This is Pekin on the wing. Searching hand pass. Awkward half volley for Anderson. He kept it going the Saints way. Dwyer stood up in the tackle. Well done by Neal. Slaps it out. They're going in pretty solidly, despite St Kilda's big lead at the moment. Robert Harvey, great evasion. Drops the ball onto the left boot. It floats inside the 50. Stafford goes back. And the big man takes the mark. Plays on. This is Bryce. Deep in his own defensive area. Tardy kick. Doreen gets the hand pass. Lewis, well, he should have kicked it. No question about that. Back came Brunton. Got it to Kelly. Higgins works it forward. Taken by Dunkley. Awkward one for Neal. Goes back and finds it. A lot of handball. It needs a kick. Slapped on by Higgins. Taken on the outer side by Bayes. Dunkley once more kicks inside the 50. It bounces awkwardly. McRae left it behind. Opportunity for the Swans. Frawley going to ground. Hand passes towards Shanahan. Shanahan gets the kick away, and Dwyer, a good sliding mark.
McGuire's on half-back. Plenty of possessions for Sydney, but unable to convert. Dwyer goes into the middle. Should be a free kick to Lowe. And will be. Stewie Lowe has been sensational in the first half. A clear winner as he goes towards the 50-metre line. Dale Lewis caught behind. But the mark's not going to be paid, so Sydney will be able to sneak away up towards centre wing. And the ball will wobble over the line for another throw-in. Kick coming from Troy Gray on centre wing. Taylor could have been taken high, and Gray is not at all impressed. Kane Taylor will take the free kick, and a bit of pushing and shoving there. Taylor has it on centre. We'll send the Saints up towards half forward. Now, Stuart Lowe is obviously the target. That's why. He can go on with it here. He'll kick from 55. Stabs it in towards the pocket. Anderson waits at the back. Has possession now. He's on a tight angle. Pulls it round his body. Partly smothered. Fote is there as well. And eventually it's taken over the line. Anderson can't get there in time. And we'll have another throw. 11-3 plays 5-8. 13 effective scoring shots to 14. The Saints are very convincing leaders at the moment. Pekin is inside 50. He's also in trouble. He's in real trouble. Pekin loses it to the young man from Tokemwell in Leon Higgins. Higgins finds Stafford on half-back. Stafford's kick, a floater towards centre wing, off the chest of Bayes. Creswell's away. But the whistle has sounded there's going to be a free kick going the way of St Kilda. It'll be taken by Kane Taylor. Taylor quickly off with a hand pass to Chris Hollow. Hollow's kick towards the 50-metre line. Well, he just marks everything, doesn't he? Stuart Lowe to Nathan Burke. Look at that. Oh, it bounced off the chest. Could have been a free kick for a push. In fact, there will be. But perhaps a little fortunate Russell Morris didn't bounce off his chest, but he does have the free kick.
For those wondering at home, Stuart Lowe has actually taken 11 marks so far today. A couple of them with a number of Swans players hanging off him. He just flexes the biceps and is repelling those players like swatting flies.
Russell Morris, his first shot at goal. Saints looking for their 12th. Stretch the lead even further. Morris stabs, going to be pretty close. He's got it.
Staff eventually. The Saints get it down towards their half-forward line. Burke sent them forward. Goes towards his namesake. In the meantime, I think it's coming back, and he will get a free kick. That's Darren Burke. Just outside the 50. 12-3, play is 5-8. The margin was 21 points at quarter time, so St Kilda have improved on that. And their form recently has been terrific then. Burke long towards the kickoff line. Where's the big man? Well, in from the side. O'Brien takes the mark. Stewie Lowe was down there, but this time outgunned by one of his own. Drifting in, Craig O'Brien has the opportunity here to kick his second goal. Should get it. And the lead then will be 43 points. Through it goes. Craig O'Brien's got 2, and the Saints are 13-13. The Swans are 5-8.
This is Scott Waters there just lamenting on the boundary line. The Swans could ill afford to lose such a player out of the middle of the ground so early in the piece. But Craig O'Brien continues to impress in this last month of football. I think it's fair to say he was playing for his football future, and he's risen to the challenge and showing that he wants to be a part of St Kilda's future.
43 points the margin, under 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Nathan Burke gets St Kilda down towards their half-forward line, although it bounces back towards the mud again. Higgins' tackle is considered a little too high. Leon Higgins may consider himself a little stiff. O'Brien will take it just forward of centre. Has a look up towards half-forward. Fode and Lowe. Morris, they've got a number of players down there. Kane Taylor ducks back into trouble, not before he gets rid of the football to Pekin. Or he's got Mick Dwyer on a tight angle, back to Fode, 25 metres out. Lovely kick by Fode for goal. That's his third, but the best yet by Gordon Fode. 14-3, St Kilda. Sydney a disappointing 5-8.
There's a great example of the 1-2 of the handball. We'll see the setup here. Pekin whips it out to Dwyer, and then Fode on the burst through the middle. Higgins just not quite able to trap him. And finishes off with a goal. Well, you wouldn't be surprised if there was a few antics out there. The Swans players must be getting a little bit frustrated because St Kilda have just done it with ease since quarter time.
Everett from the middle was down looking for Nathan Burke once again. Higgins went through, but without the football. Hollow charges away for St Kilda. Down towards Lowe. There's mark number 12.
Paul Bryce continues to play from behind on Stuart Lowe. And I'm not sure there's an easy way of playing this man Mountain, but I think playing in front is probably your first option.
Stuart Lowe has kicked 3 in this quarter, 5 for the match. So taking a run up reminiscent to that of Michael Holding. Stammering approach just inside 50. The drop punt going to be touch and go, and that's exactly what happened, with Holmes seeing it over the line for one behind. So 1 point on the board to the Saints. Their accuracy can certainly not be questioned. 14-4, plays 5-8.
So Werner
now
has been knocked off for not kicking the ball the required distance when bringing it in,
which is 2 metres, I think.
So nothing going right for Sydney.
And a bounce right on the kickoff line. Free kick now is going to Sydney, so no damage done. They bring it away. This is Bryce to Kelly, who's been very good. His 14th possession. Daniels at full stretch, running up towards the wing. Strong tackle applied by Taylor, forced the error. As a result, they turn it over. McAdam to Nathan Burke, who pulls it down towards the 50-metre line. The Swans in best position. Mooney thumps it forward. Unable to control it down there was Daniels, and the ball goes across the boundary line. In fact, it was Stafford who did the punching away. One of a number of Swans. It wasn't a well-directed kick. Had the option of destroying, and that they did. But generally, they've been under pressure. It's thrown in. Stafford up in front. O'Brien going nowhere, wrestled to the ground. Daniels flattened his back. Higgins tries to come out of the pack, but the umpire wants it. 14-4 to 5-8. So the margin has exploded out to 50 points. Everett, the backhander. Kelly again. He's got a great heart, and the ball's out of bounds. A young captain, he leads by example, but simply not enough supporting cast up here in Sydney at the present time to make his job easy or even comfortable. This is Burke. Gets away from the pack. His centering kick. Morris in best position. The defence is solid that time. Holmes got it on the ground to his own advantage, but the kick not good. Taken by Everett. Runs away from Stafford. Stafford applied good pressure.
It's been a good battle.
Error. Yeah.
Both young players, tall, mobile. Stafford certainly one that'll be with the Swans for many years.
The kick comes back from Neil towards the wing. This is Harvey in the grasp. Winmar got a boot to it, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Under 6 minutes remaining in this first half. 14 plays 5. St Kilda in the box seat for a big score. Nathan Burke, little chip up towards left half forward, and another one from Harvey gains St Kilda probably an extra 15 metres, pushes it down to their left half forward flank as Stuart Lowe ambles out to do the ruck work from the throw-in. What a sensational first half he's had. He's marked everything that has come his way, done it extremely well. Fine tackle on Daniels from Winmar, pinned one arm, and he just lost the football. Winmar in towards the middle. McAdam is his target. Gilbert doesn't let him down. He streaks away. McAdam loping to the 50-metre line. Look at that pass. It's a beauty. Anderson, off you go. In towards goal. And don't tell me he's going to miss it from there. He has. Look, it's his birthday. You wouldn't believe it. 14-5. Plays 5-8. Good build-up. Deserved a better finish, but not to be. So Paul Bryce will bring it back into play. Saints at the moment have had successive 7-goal quarters, and they've done it with without some of their key players being absolutely on fire. Robert Harvey, who's picked up quite a few touches but hasn't been dominating. Here's Bayes trying to flick it inside. Pekin is there to tidy up for St Kilda. There is the man we speak of, Harvey. Off to Mick Dwyer, and St Kilda out of trouble through Hollow up towards centre wing, only as far as McRae. Dean McRae goes in towards Higgins, tries a little bit of fancy stuff. It may work to Brunton. Brunton's forward of centre, has a look up towards centre half forward. They desperately want to score, and a good mark is taken by Troy Gray, just 45 metres out, almost directly in front.
Only 1-1 for Troy Gray today, so he hasn't had much of the football, but has the opportunity to convert. Would take a relatively good kick though, kicking from about 45 metres.
They've kicked 2 goals, 3 this quarter. Sydney, there's the left foot floating kick, and I think he's floated it through.
Half time, the margin is 45 points. Lewis ran into a dead end. There goes Neil. Advantage is paid. Away comes McRae. Probing kick inside the 50. Minton Connell goes back, almost the mark. Spilt it close to the boundary line, can't keep it in. So bad luck for Minton Connell. Almost the juggled mark. I'm not sure he knew he had it. Gets rid of Frawley.
Keep him in the cup.
He'd done the hard work. Everett over the top, thumps it back towards the boundary line. Pekin's hand pass comes away. Burke hugs the boundary line with the kick. Stewie low. Oh, what a mark. Well, not paid. He juggled it about 3 or 4 times and then shapes up to Werner behind play. Meantime, the ball is on the half-back line for the Saints. Beckett is robbed of it, taken by Bayes. Open goal, and he puts it through. Mark Bayes, a belated goal for the Swans, his first. Their 7th at 7-8 to 14-5. It was a full brother to a mark on the wing by Big Stewie.
He's very close, but Michael Werner does well, gets the ball to Lewis. Werner, of course, another opponent for Stuart Lowe. He's 5th for the half of football. And there's a bit of pickpocketing. And Bayes gets a goal.
2 quick goals to Sydney. Put some respectability into their score. Harvey tries to take it out of the middle to Dwyer. That's effective. Past Winmar. It could finish with him. No, Burke decides to take the kick down to Morris. Russell Morris marks inside 50. O'Brien is there. Fode is there down in the forward line. So too is Stuart Lowe. Morris kicking into the sun. From 52 metres. Good looking drop punt. That's an excellent kick. Russell Morris has kicked his second. Both have come in this quarter. St Kilda have the quick reply. They move to 15-5, leading by 45 points over Sydney, who are 7-8-50.
Yes, it was a bit surprising to see Russell Morris start on the bench today for St Kilda. And he certainly showed his worth since coming on. Start of the second quarter, a couple of goals, and he's a fine kick, an exponent of the drop punt, showing how to do it outside 50.
Centre bounce once again. Everett tried to get it down towards Dwyer. Winmar takes the mark. Thought about going on with it, but Daniels makes sure that he has got to go back and take his kick. Nicky Winmar. Low again.
Well, their use of Winmar today has been quite superb. St Kilda starting him on the half-back flank, and he's just running forward, picking up many possessions and creating good starts for St Kilda.
13 marks in almost a half of football to Stuart Lowe. Tells you what an outstanding game that he's had today. Mark Bayes kicked the goal a few moments ago. He gets a bad bounce there. He also gets hustled over the line by Chris Hollow, and we'll have another throw-in.
Well, Holmes showing a bit of aggression there. It's in a half-back. Timely interception. Need more of that. Players seizing the initiative. Everett gets it down to Nathan Burke, who breaks away.
Oops.
It's slippery. As a result, he's lucky to get it back, and then the hand pass wasn't good. This is McAdam, though, with some time and space. Across to Anderson. Anderson lines up goal from 45 metres out. It bends back and narrowly misses. So behind. 15-6 to 7-8. Under 30 seconds to half-time. So plenty of goals in the opening half, but they've been disproportionate. Bryce virtually straight down the middle. McRae crawling after it. This is Burke. Can the Saints post a late goal? Harvey away to Dwyer. The clock continues to run down. Dwyer goes from long range. Getting back, it's Bryce.
Shepherding free kick.
Going to the Saints. It'll be taken by O'Brien.
I thought it was a bit tough, this one. O'Brien was going in for the big mark. His man just maintained his ground. He certainly impeded O'Brien's run at the football. Let's have another look at it on replay. Just held his ground. Well, I would think that's pretty well fair and square. Ball fairly close.
Pretty so. O'Brien puts it through. So on the stroke of half-time, the Saints get another goal. 15-6 to 7-8. No, it's 16-6 rather to 7-8. O'Brien has booted 3. So a miserable first half for the Sydney Swans, who I think started the game with an air of optimism. A lot of people gave them a rough sort of a chance this afternoon. Yes, me included, Sandy, as you can point at me. But things haven't come to fruition so far. I think their fans, looking back on the first half, would rate the Pig one of the highlights. Half-time at the SCG at 16-6 to 7-8. The opening term.
So set to go now in the second half here at the SCG. At the moment, St Kilda leading by 52 points as Everett tries to belt it out of the middle. He wins a tap but doesn't win it out of the centre. Could have almost been a free kick to O'Brien. In fact, it's going to be the advantage is paid low over the top, and he goes into the open goal, and St Kilda continue on their merry way.
Well, it really is the Stuart Lowe show at the present time. I noticed that Paul Bryce had been moved into the middle as a mobile ruckman. He will get slaughtered by young Peter Everett because he certainly has talent in that area in the centre, Everett. And there's Robert Harvey, one of the most gifted players going at the moment, just coming through. Good to see him giving that first option, and Lowe doesn't let him down. Greg Stafford is playing up in the forward pocket for the Sydney Swans. I think that's a better mix, a big taller player with the leading Minton Connell.
So 33 goals on the season for Stuart Lowe, 6 of them this afternoon. And St Kilda right on top in this game. Now Taylor, an opportunity to send them forward once more. Boots it very high. Morris goes back. Bayes gets a timely fist on it. Bryce down towards half forward. McAdam soccers it towards the boundary line. It pitches and runs on, and it will be thrown in at left half forward for Sydney, who trailed by 21 points at quarter time and by 52 at the break. It's out to 58 now, almost in the twinkling of an eye. Hollow over the ball. He's claimed. And the bounce. Mooney back on the ground. He was the tackler. Hollow has been a nice addition to this defence at centre half back, coming along quite nicely. Mooney goes towards the boundary line. Lewis. Yang tackled across the boundary. The umpire wants it. It's not out of bounds. He blew the whistle before Lewis went across the boundary line, so we've got a bounce. Chances are it could be out of bounds shortly. Knocked forward by Osborne. Well done. Daniels, nicely done. Higgins wants his left foot. Slides it across the goal face, though. Still in the field of play. Minton Connell. Frawley right there with him. And now it's out of bounds. Some distance from the bounce, so we can't claim that. It will be thrown in about 20 metres around from the behind post. 17-6 to 7-8 on a pretty Sydney day.
Everett can't get front spot. Nathan Burke working hard at the bottom of the pack. McAdam farms out the hand pass to Winmar. The Saints towards their half back line. Not out of trouble yet, but they will be. Hollow goes back to Winmar. Up towards Burke. He's down towards the centre now. Burke does well. Oh, he gets cannoned into the ground eventually by Dean McRae. And we'll find ourselves with the ball, by Kelly it was, find ourselves with the ball up on centre wing. Well, he flew into him.
In the end, that was McRae going for that one. And Paul Kelly, you'll just see him come out of the blind side. There he is. Bang. Down goes Burke.
Kelly's kick clean bowls everyone through Higgins and taken over the line. And bang. This dangerous area here.
Someone's going to get hurt in this fence, aren't they?
Taylor gives the young man a pat on the head and says, "You'll be right." Chris Hollow from the throw-in. Brunton couldn't get an effective kick away. Pekin almost hands it out. Daniels at the bottom of the pack. McRae is there. Lewis kick smothered over the boundary line. Another throw-in. Justin Peckett doing the work there for the Saints. 108 plays 50. Now who's holding who? It's gone to the St Kilda, a big man.
It's always the problem when you have an inexperienced player going up against a ruckman. Invariably, they haven't got the ability to go with them at boundary throw-ins, and that's where they're exposed most, and they often give away free kicks like such.
Stuart Lowe, a high hurried kick into the space. Which way will it bounce? Oh, very fine pickup. Sydney should get out of trouble here. Lewis has got a bit of space. Dale Lewis through the middle. He's going to have to be quick. Gets it across to Werner. Werner, a hurried pass up towards the half-forward flank, in towards Minton Connell territory. Shanahan is there close to the boundary line. Osborne takes him over. Running into trouble was McRae. McAdam close to the line and eventually over. So we've got another throw-in Sydney's left half-forward.
Shanahan there just dishing out the hospital hand pass. Perhaps would have been wiser just trickling the ball over the boundary line.
Sydney still looking for their first score of the quarter. Kane Taylor takes the hand pass and his kick just waited a moment too long and the spoil was effective.
Yeah, it was good to see Dean McRae. The lunging performance of the smother. If the Swans lose their 1%ers, they'll be slaughtered.
Here he is again in the thick of things. Rides a couple of bumps. He's working hard. Everett again. Has front spot, goes over the back, but finds Richard Osborne. Osborne's kick down towards half forward. Danny Frawley comes charging out. Had it, then lost it. Could have almost been held. Hollow. Socket off the ground, and Frawley runs into trouble, and I don't think he liked it very much either. Holmes back towards half forward for Sydney. McAdam, but there's been a whistle. It'll be a Sydney free kick. big youngster will take it. Stafford directly in front. And he's got a chance to post his first goal and Sydney's 8th. Greg Stafford. That's the reason he was given the ball. Coming up for kick number 6. Directly in front. Drop punt on its way. Pretty good.
Telecom Mobile Net is the world's most advanced mobile phone service.
Welcome back.
With around 500,000 customers. Of course, with that many customers, it's not surprising that some decided to try a competitor. Less surprising is that many of them, like those listed here, are returning. To them, we'd like to say, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Telecom Mobile Net. We're talking Australia's own.
So the margin is 52 points. Down goes Harvey. He'll get a free kick. Early going of the third term.
Straight down the middle from this position.
Harvey taking plenty of time. Feel quite at home on the centre wicket area. Boots it out wide. Here's Anderson close to the boundary line. Kept it in. Appeared to be held without it. No free kick. Doreen's hand pass came across to support. That was Holmes. Doreen came back. Now Bays gains about 25 metres and in educated fashion runs it across the boundary line.
So Bays is back on the half-back flank, picking up Russell Morris, a position that he's more accustomed to rather than that centre-half forward spot where he's been tried without a great deal of success on many occasions.
Holmes sockers it forward. Osborne close quarters to McRae, who props. Whoops. Lewis sold into trouble. It comes back to Osborne though. Good shepherd from Mooney. Osborne towards half forward, missed by Peckett. Now an opportunity. Cresswell pulls it back across his body. Standing tall down there though is Taylor. That was a very good mark under pressure. So Taylor deep in his own defensive area. 108 to 56. Sends play back towards the wing, and why not? Lows the target, got his fingertips to it. Lewis, that was ambitious. He tried to fend low off. Now free kick is going to Lewis, but he certainly tried to take on the tackler. He feeds Kelly, who's knocked up getting possessions. That wasn't one of the best of them. He kicked it directly to Everett, the defensive side of centre half back. He chips it out wide. McAdam's got it. Metres in the clear. He'll go to Pekin on the lead. Pekin has it left half forward, about 75 metres from goal. Slips a hand pass away to Winmar, who runs to the 50, kicks towards full forward. Awkward half volley, brilliantly picked up there by Morris, who then proceeded to slip over. Fode's got it, in trouble, knocked towards the boundary line by Daniels. Back comes Fode. They scramble after it, and the umpire has no alternative but to call it up. So a ball up, about 25 metres out from the Saints attacking goal.
Stuart Lowe's been in the hands of the trainers behind play, but he does appear to be okay. 56 plays, 108. Daniels and Winmar close to the boundary line. Did Winmar keep it in? He's bent that back, but by no means far enough. Werner under pressure, pushed the ball along in front of him. In fact, it was Andrew Dunkley, and Dunkley will take the free kick. He's got it in the back pocket, Dunkley. He's got Brunton on the outer side. Got a bit of space, although Harvey gives chase. Gets his kick up towards Osborne and McAdam. McAdam is like lightning, very, very quick. Wins that duel with ease, gives it to Pekin on centre wing. McAdam can keep going here, and he does. Lopes through the centre. Danger signs here, up towards the half-forward line. Harvey taken out of it. Fode is there, and it'll be a free kick going the way of Sydney. The advantage is paid. Out wide to the outer side. Kelly, if he can keep it in play, Sydney have got a chance to start something. The skipper goes up towards the right half-forward flank, and a good mark taken by Leon Higgins. Higgins, normally a very good kick. This time elects to use the right boot. Goes up towards full forward. Big pack of players sees it fisted away. May get another chance. Brunton. Holmes, 40 metres out directly in front. Kicks in towards goal, but he's away to the left. One behind only the result for Sydney. 8-9 plays 17-6 at the halfway mark of this third quarter, and at the moment Sydney making no impression. There's McAdam. Brings it back into play. Low is his target. He's got to beat a couple of them. He's got help from Nathan Burke and will need it. Here's Low again. Now Mickey Dwyer. Dwyer's away from centre wing. Look at the pass up towards Foden. He takes it in front of the eyes. Well, he's got someone in the square all alone. This is a rabble. Pekin is there and he will goal. That is far, far too easy.
57. Everett controls it to his own advantage and kicks it towards centre-half forward. Werner goes back inside his own defensive 50. Buys himself some time, played it pretty well, gets it away to home. Sweeping hand pass out wide. Around the outer side comes Brunton. Forward of the wing, kicks towards centre-half forward. Ill-directed though, taken by McAdam, who certainly was playing on. Now he's in trouble. I thought he had to be holding the ball, but he was flung having hand passed. McAdam
tough to get up. Dennis.
Well, he was looking for traction, was he? He was like the coyote, the road runner, just coming to the precipice. Beep, beep. Meantime, here's Frawley, forward of the wing. He boots it down inside the attacking 50. Good mark taken by Dunkley. He played on too. They're going in solidly. Daniels emerges with it, gets the hand pass off to Brunton. Brunton at centre-half back. Not a particularly good kick, too much carry on it. And now Taylor chips inside the 50 and finds Low.
Well, that's the skill deficit that Ron Barassi, I'm sure, has been alluding to all day. In fact, I don't think he would have alluded to it. He would have looked them in the eye and told them exactly what he thought at half-time. But that poor kick from Brunton on that occasion has resulted in Stuart Low going back. And he should convert. And we're up to his 7th, I think, Sandy, is it?
Yes, that's what he's going for.
Yes, would have done. Now here's Low. Low kicking at his 7th, quite right. The best he scored this season, 7 against Footscray.
That pork has upset you.
It's upset this defence too for the Swans. They haven't been the same since he made his way onto the ground. It's a goal. 7 to Stewie. 19-6. Plays 8-9.
Yes, you can only reiterate the skill errors. That's the difference between good sides and bad. The ones that win the ball across half-back and maintain possession are at the top of the ladder. And those that give the ball back through midfield are lingering down the bottom. And that's where the Swans are.
120 plays 57. Dwyer out of the centre once again. Legs pumping. He kicks up towards half forward. Fode comes steaming out. O'Brien, the ball spinning, but he picks it up nicely. Goes with a left foot snap. Low! Yes, there's another one. Mark number 16. Goal number 8.
RACV Claims Advisory, Kay speaking.
Werner in a spot of bother.
Paul Bryce has changed his approach here in the middle.
57 plays 126, and he's got a kick, Jared, out of the centre. But Sydney want goals, and they want them terribly badly. Osborne on half forward, gives a little ground game back to half forward, and Dean McRae on centre wing. McRae's hand pass back in towards the centre. A chance now for Neil. Neil's kick up towards half forward. Frawley is spoiled, but he, in doing so, has given away the free kick. So Simon Minton-Connell, well, he's had, I think this would just about be his first shot at goal today.
Only 3 kicks to date. And of course, it was Richard Osborne in the first half that was becoming the main focal point for any leads.
And as he lines up, Capsalis comes on for his first run for the Saints. We wish him well. Minton-Connell drop punt in towards goal, and he's shaved the post. Nothing is going right for Sydney at the moment. 26 plays 8-10.
Things will have to happen with Minton-Connell at the end of this season. They must make a decision, both him and the club. If he's going to stay a Sydney Swans player, then he must shift towards into Sydney and live here.
Here's McAdam taken high, surely. Play on's the call. Brunton alongside Taylor at the base of that pack. Cresswell there too. And to bounce. McAdam slow to get up. He's limping. Werner's limping at the other end. 20 goals, 6 plays, 8 goals, 10. Darren Burke lays it off. O'Brien. Hurried kick out of defence, but a good one nevertheless. He spotted Dwyer down the ground. It wouldn't sit for him, and as a result now, a chance for the Swans. close to the boundary line. Neil doing a lot of finessing, but he couldn't control it. And a throw in. All the Saints. Everett goes up, knocks it down. Well played, O'Brien, kept it in front. Gets the hand pass to Pekin. Sweeps it wider. Look out. Morris confronted. Managed to get it to Lowe. Lowe, who's been the man that really has set this game alight today. Harvey has been reasonably well held, and that time held again. And Dunkley will get the free kick.
Initially it was the poor option though by Tim Pekin. He had Harvey running inside and he elected to go out wider. It's not the way you play corridor football, and certainly not how you play the SCG.
Dunkley goes short, finds Kelly. I'm sure Dunkley seeks out Daniels for kicking drills at training. This is Kelly down towards half forward. Hollows in front, big pack, off hands it falls forward. Dash from Osborne, that's better. He should have given it to McRae, and he's put it out of bounds on the full in the pocket. Well, you can't have everything.
Well, you got to have that. That was an obvious give, and it was a player that's experienced enough to know, and certainly Dean McRae would have been a bit upset he wasn't on the receiving end of a handball running straight into the open.
Danny Frawley from the back pocket. Stafford is the big flyer, but he can't take the mark. Skipper Kelly comes away, and he kicks it nicely to half forward where Mooney takes the mark. Well, he kicks towards Creswell. Creswell now is under all sorts of pressure. He's going to get a free kick for being held. He's in the right forward pocket. Creswell had a good start to the game. He kicked 2 early goals. He's looking for his third. Might also be looking for an option. Tough call right on the boundary line. And away to the right for 1 people. 8-11. Plays 20 goals, 6. So it's 4 goals to 1 in favour of St Kilda so far in this third quarter. And 3 of those 4 of the Saints have been booted by Stuart Lowe. There's some cramp for Harvey.
It says something about the state of this ground so early in the game. A runner like Robert Harvey cramping up. It's very soft underfoot.
Everett will take the kick. They're going straight on with the business, kicking straight over him. Bayes, fine mark, coming over the top of Morris. Sydney would like to see more of that from Mark Bayes, I'm quite sure of that. They've got a chance now. Brunton gets the hand pass away. They want goals rapidly if they could just do something in this third quarter. But a mark is being paid to win mark, and he's at halfback.
And Sydney St Kilda would do well to get Harvey straight off the ground, because cramping in the hamstring is just leading yourself open for trouble.
Well, he's shrugged at the trainers and loped away. There'll be a St Kilda free kick here. In fact, the advantage will be paid. O'Brien down towards the half-forward line. If it sits for Anderson, he's in business. Straight over the top. Now he decides to have a shot for goal, and he gets it. Second.
73 points now, the Saints' way. Eventually, it's Doreen who pops it down. Got the hand pass from Kelly. Towards half forward went the kick, and Osborne was held. Just going to sparkle about their game today, Sydney. They've been most disappointing. Osborne, about 65 metres from goal. Goes short. Well, they've got to query some of the options. This has come to Bryce, though. He's taken the mark, and I guess can score from here.
Shaw warming up on the sidelines for the Saints, so interesting to see if Harvey does come off.
Bryce with North Melbourne and Melbourne before this stint with the Sydney Swans, taking plenty of time. 21 goals, 6. St Kilda, and Bryce going at goal number 9 for the Swans. Not a bad effort from there. It's off hands and through it goes for a behind. So 72 points. Ron Barassi. Well, one wonders what's going through his mind. He's coaching his 11th game for the Sydney Swans. Of course, that one remarkable victory over Melbourne. Guess who? Stewie Lowe. How many marks is that for Lowe now? 17. 17 marks for this man. Best on ground by quite some distance. Has kicked 8 goals through the middle. Bays.
Rob Harvey has just taken himself off the ground. Good move by the Saints. There's no point in risking players when you've got a game well and truly wrapped up.
Stafford, oh, he tried a bit of fancy stuff and now gets it across to Richard Osborne, then does the shepherding work. Some pretty solid shepherding work too on O'Brien. But O'Brien jumps up. He's quite okay. Back to McRae again. Osborne tries to soccer it off the ground. It wasn't tidy. And we've got ourselves another throw.
Well, you doubt the wisdom of hand passing to a man with his back to goal, don't you?
8-12. Plays 21-6. Everett involved in a bit of a wrestle. Shaw trying to get into the thick of things. Daniels was held. The advantage will be paid. No, it won't. Guy says no. Jason, go back and take your kick. Against his old club, he's not renowned as one of the more beautiful kickers of the ball, as you can see. Hollow from full back. Gets a kick wide towards the wing. Pressure on Morris. He's got to beat a couple. Gets a very fickle bounce. So too does Daniel initially, but then he was able to throw it out to Bays off to Werner. Werner is on centre wing. In a spot of bother, so he gives it to the big man Stafford, who in turn goes over the top once again and finds Troy Gray. Gray centering kick in towards full forward, but all St Kilda once again. In fact, there were 4 defenders there, and the skipper said, leave it to me. Frawley marks, finds O'Brien in the back pocket.
O'Brien's played pretty well this afternoon. As for distance, along the grandstand side, Lowe was interfered with, and he'll get the free kick. So Stuart Lowe has just been like a policeman directing traffic as far as the Saints are concerned. Finds Darren Burke in midfield. Goes looking for Fode, I fancy. Capsalis came in from the oblique angle. It's loose behind. Taylor's got it, but in the meantime, it's going to be a free kick to Fode. And a couple of the Sydney Swans, the worse for wear. Dunkley and Holmes colliding in that pack. That's Dunkley. And Holmes just metres away, also with the Staggers. They're both very much shaken. And it's bad news. 2 youngsters in trouble on what's been a dirty day for their club in any case. Holmes jogs away, but Dunkley some time away from that yet. Meantime, Fode is lining up on goal. 21 goals 6 to 8-12.
Lowe just lurking along the goal line.
Fode, pretty good effort from there. Hit the post about 2/3 of the way up. Fode's got 3 goals this afternoon. He's been something of a revelation in the run home in the absence of Tony Lockett. He's been bobbing up on the forward line and proving most productive. Just over 4 minutes till 3/4 time. 21 goals 7 to 8-12. Watch this collision again.
And we're back with the action now, and Daniels, who took the mark from the kick in again. It's an
unbelievable floater.
High floater. They'd call it in Adelaide. Stafford getting it out to his teammate there in Gray, who's under pressure. Didn't appreciate the attention he was being paid as he gets a free kick. Troy Gray, left footer up towards the left half forward flank region. Waiting down for the Saints, however, is Chris Hollow. And that's out of bounds on the full. Bad luck. He was trying a little bit of fancy work and almost succeeded. So Dean McRae kicks towards Osborne, floating close to the boundary line, but he completed the mark inside. Aussie kicked 3 goals in the first half, but hasn't added to that. Fizz well and truly having gone out of this game now. They're just playing it out. Osborne's kick, good looking kick in towards the square, and a great fly and an excellent mark taken by Jason Mooney. Well, the youngster got the fly. It was a ripper. They haven't had a lot to cheer about Sydney today, but they can cheer about this.
Well, he shows plenty of promise. That's a fine mark. A packed situation. Started on Stuart Lowe and got a bit of a bath early, but there's been plenty of players before him done that. Finishes off with a good goal.
Yes, how badly they need it. So Mooney gets his first, and in fact, Sydney's second for the quarter. They move to 9-12, trailing St Kilda 21-7.
Yes, and the Swanettes are at risk of injury here. It's their first time they've needed to get up and do their jig for quite some time. They're doing their stretches. Jason Mooney does show that he is a player of ability. Let's hope he's around for years to come with the Sydney Swans. Let's hope they're around for years to come.
Back in the middle. Stafford works it forward. Burke falling to the ground. Winmar. Down goes O'Brien. Coming through strongly as Dwyer. Still it's Dwyer. Well played on the 50. Didn't have the ball. Werner digs it out. Brunton comes away then towards midfield. It's taken by Higgins. Seen plenty of the ball. That's a good kick. Much better. McRae has it just outside the 50, and that's a good kick too to space. And Minton Connell comes up to take the mark. Well, Ron Barassi is trying to take some pleasing features from this term, and there haven't been too many. A couple of good kicks there. Good use of the ball, initially by Higgins and then by McRae. And now Minton Connell with a chance from about 35. Going at his first. I think he's missed. So the finish not there after what was a quality build-up. He looks to the heavens. That won't help. Stewie's probably gliding past taking a mark if you look up there. 21-7 to 9-13.
McAdam to bring it back into play. Long and low, but a little too low. And Sydney through Neil will get a chance to go forward once more. He's 55 metres out. Fires it back in towards full forward. That's a good kick, and it's fisted over defensively for one behind.
Well, Robbie Neal must have created history, I'd say, today by being the first player ever to come directly from the Canberra League straight into an AFL fixture.
Had a big week last week, didn't he, Jared?
He might have kicked 8 goals for Southern District, Sandy.
Yes, they had an 11-goal win over, I think it was Queanbeyan. So a good effort there. Kelly on the outer side. They're mucking around with it here, Sydney. Can Kelly get them out of trouble? Dodges and weaves and turns and kicks straight to Tim Pekin. Pekin in turn goes towards centre wing. Shaw, if he didn't take the mark, he was going to get the free kick anyway. Coming off the interchange bench. No one on the mark. So away he goes. Shaw up towards the half-forward line. They've got players everywhere. This is Burke. Floating kick towards Lowe. They steam over the top of him and belt it to the boundary line. 50 metres out from the Satyrs scoring zone, and they lead 21-7 to 9-14. Time ticking down in this third quarter. Bays may get a chance to clear it. Well, his version of clearing is heading to the boundary line. And the relative safety. Throw in once more. And as Werner gets the hand pass away, the siren sounds. It's three-quarter time here at the SCG. St Kilda in a commanding position. They lead 21-7, 133. Sydney a 9-14, 68. Couldn't quite complete the mark. Bay's hand pass. Oh, he's put Higgins under all sorts of pressure, and as you said, gone. Shaw charges in towards Code, and he takes the mark.
A brilliant kick from Damon Shaw. It is great to see a young player with some skill.
Should be able to float it straight over the Swanettes. That's exactly what he's done. Lowe just pushing over the back to accommodate Mickey Dwyer. He shrugs the tackle, kick a goal, Mick, and he does. Great play.
Chips it out wide. Capsalis inside the 50. Fode on the lead, could have almost got a free kick. Stands up in the tackle, hand passes at Goldwood. Stafford, who's done well back in defence, boots it to midfield. Taylor goes back, takes the mark, plays on out wide. Little chip pass, O'Brien, and that should be 50. That was a belated push. It arrived
some time after the ball. O'Brien going at his fourth. Made it.
Continued on its winning way, demolishing Sydney on a comical afternoon at the SCG. A 9-goal second term set up the win, and in a best-on-ground performance, Stuart Lowe kicked 8 goals. But as Matthew Brooks reports, Lowe was upstaged by a pig named Plugger.
Riding high after successive wins over Geelong and North, the Saints' start reflected their confidence. Play was then held up when a pig made its way onto the ground.
He's on a lead. He's on a lead.
Darren Holmes made the tackle of the day, but St Kilda then proceeded to chop up the defence, Winmar's second, helping his side to a 21-point lead at quarter time. They went on with it in the second term. Stuart Lowe in particular pounced on every opportunity.
That's trouble for Sydney.
He had 5 goals and 13 marks by half-time as the lead passed the 50 mark. The Saints were in hog heaven as the goal feast continued in the third term.
This is a rebel. Pekin is there and he will goal. That is far, far too easy.
Although Sydney rallied with 8 goals in the final quarter, the result was a foregone conclusion. And judging by their latest defeat, pigs may fly before the Swans win again.
Swans kicked 8 in the final quarter. Stuart Lowe was magnificent, kicking 8 for the Saints.
It was an even start at the SCG, with Osborne's fine forward work more than matched by Stuart Lowe's brilliant marking display. The excitement was clearly too much for the goal umpire. Even when he's not playing, Tony Lockett isn't forgotten. This Porky look-alike causing trouble for all except Darren Holmes.
Fine tackle. What a magnificent tackle.
With the order restored, Everett dropped the sitter to allow Cresswell to boot his second, but the Saints edged away to a 21-point lead at quarter time, and the Swans players had to endure the Ron Barassi of old.
It is a bloody disgrace. I will not fuck that shit.
But his anger had little effect, Lowe continuing his aerial dominance.
Look at that.
Craig O'Brien also got the idea as the Saints surged to a 52-point lead at the long break. There was little to get excited about in the second half, although the Stuart Lowe show continued.
Yes, there's another one.
Robert Harvey was feeling the effects of running all day, and the Saints eased off as Sydney managed 8 final quarter goals. The 37-point winning margin very flattering for the Swans. Anthony Hudson, 10.